up, everybody? And welcome to a really exciting Elev8 tonight. We have role model glass. It's really neat that we have these two blowers that have formed like an ultimate glass blowing team. Really awesome. Really excited to get to see this thing. Really quickly, I want to mention we're looking for help. We need your help. We got Elev8 ambassadors, Elev8 gents, and Elev8 dolls. Really cool. Check it out. It's a really neat way to earn some cool stuff, some shirts and whatnot, as well as like some like this shirt, Elev8 Veterans. It's our 501c3. Go check it out. It's a really neat way to help some veterans that helped us out with this country. Anyways, let's get into role model. Well, welcome to Elev8. We got role model here today. And thank you guys for joining us. And it's Doghouse Glass and Modified Creations together forming an ultimate union, role model glass, right?
Got it. Nailed it.
Yes. Hell yeah, my pleasure. You know, it was really neat to get to interview each one of you individually. And then I'm really excited to see how you guys come together and how you do this. And so I guess the first question is, how did you guys find each other? How did you guys come together as a group, as two individuals, to one thing as role model?
Yeah, it was about, I don't know, 5, 6 years ago now. I was getting off the mountain in Cali and looking for a place to get some supplies, and I had met a couple of old timers, and they told me to hit up Doghouse, and he probably had what I need, and he actually hit him up, and then went over there. Probably was later that day, and I don't know, we hung out for the whole day. Like, I only expected to pick up some supplies, but I got to talk glass, so I shot his ear off for a while, and after that, I went back to Alabama, and we stayed in communication through the webcam chats through Torch Talk for a while. And
Google Hangouts.
Yes, that one.
We utilize Google Hangouts.
Yeah.
So, and for at least 2 years, I'd say we did the Google Hangout thing of just being able to have shop mates virtually. And he eventually invited me out to come work with him, and it pretty much just shot out from there.
Do you guys feel, I don't know how religious you are or whatever religion, do you feel maybe that you guys are soulmates?
Soulmates.
Yeah, soulmates.
At the fucking Torch, for sure. Let me tell you a strange story. Funny. And this is, we're going to probably jump around, I'm sure, a little bit in this and stories from Gage and myself. But a little advance forward in this whole thing real quick is one time Gage's dad told him he had a dream. And he said, I had a dream that you and Bob bought an old gas station and turned it into a glass blowing studio. We're working out of a gas station that I bought, turned into a glass blowing studio. This was years after he had this dream that he told Gage. Now, when Gage told me, it was shortly after I got a hold of him. I go, you're not going to believe this. And he goes, what? And I'm like, I might be buying a gas station. And he goes, no way. And I go, dude, I swear. And
you were in that one building that just didn't work out, and this just happened to come up.
The building I was going into was downtown on the main strip. It was the third story, and right across from town square. It's a good location, but it just wasn't going to work out. Like some things kind of came into play that weren't going to work out as far as insurance on that building because it's just so old and everything. And the lady, which is my neighbor, Joe Ridge, really awesome lady, felt really bad. So she had kind of reached out, seen if anyone else had anything else available, and found a guy that was going to be moving out of a property that was going to rent or sell it. So I went and talked to them, and it was a union electrical, plumbing, and heating shop that they had inside this gas station, right? A new place that had started off. And I talked to him, and he said that he would sell me the building. So I bought the building from him. We turned it into a glass blowing studio, and that was before he was here. But that's like was the initial spark that got him to finally move out of Alabama and come and live wherever I was. When we met, I was in California. He was in Alabama. So came to Illinois, to Marshall, Illinois, and got a place here. And he lives probably 6 blocks away from the studio on the same road.
Yep.
Well, I guess that has to be pretty powerful when all of a sudden your father almost like sees this vision, and then over here it happens. It's like Gage, you gotta open the store now.
Yeah, it's been nice because like with my dad, he always sees like how much passion and stuff like I always had for the glass, and he's seen what I really want to do with it. But I'm not so much of I don't have the people's personality, but meeting up with Bob, he helps bring that side out of me when we go to these events and stuff. Because I'm not much of a trying to be in public. But when we do these events, it's like a whole nother personality comes out of it.
Awesome. It's the role model that comes together, and you guys enhance each other a bit.
We fill each other's voids, you know what I'm saying? We talked about that in our interview, kind of like how when you team up with somebody, you got to find out who's better in certain areas, and you utilize people's strengths in order to make something truly amazing, you know, rather than making somebody really trying to work for something when they're out of their element. And like he's talking about, like the very first event that he went to, like where he was around everything, vending, all kinds, tons of famous glass blowers, demos, everything. The whole kit and caboodle was an outdoor event in Chalice that we went to, and it was like his first real thing. And we collabed for a couple weeks together before we went to the event, made all kinds of stuff for the table, and even did a big prep for a big collab, which I told you about. We did a demo there, and then doing all that, like he would tell me, man, my anxiety is going to be through the fucking roof. And I'm like, yeah, yep. I go, man, I get that shit too, to an extent. I go, but it'll go away. It's going to take time, but like that'll go away. And you're just like, yeah, I don't know. And then you could tell like the anxiety and stuff. And I remember it like when I first started, you know, a totally different level that he had, but I mean, I totally remember that same anxiety. And there's so many different people, not just glass blowers, just people in general, especially artists that are super reclusive, that are amazing in their element, but you take them out of their element and the anxiety can really take over. Ryan Fitt used to be that exact same way. He's grown. He's a good friend of mine. And he would flock to me at events. He goes, man, I'm just real good at talking to you. I don't really want to talk to these people. And he's like, man, that freaks me out. I need a beer or something, you know, and then get his anxiety all calmed down. But now he's getting to the point where he can actually deal with people a lot more. And it's from what we do.
Right. It's kind of meeting people, you know, and that's what I've always had an issue is like, I don't want to talk to you blowers because I think, you know, you guys are so of these big things and it's just all this shit. And it's just, we're just people. We're all running through the same struggle. We're all fucking crazy to have chosen this
There's different levels.
Advancement, right? And so, yeah. And, you know, anxiety, I think that's just part of life. You know, you hear these superstars that, you know, they throw up before they go out to perform a song, maybe like Tina Turner or something. And that's just part of life, getting ready for it. And it sucks, but
oh yeah,
you move past it, I think, or you learn how to digest it, I guess, more so.
It's part of it's a growing process, you know what I mean? For everybody. And for whatever your demographic is, or for whatever the way that you sell your product, whatever your product is, the things that you got to deal with in those areas, I mean, it's what kind of, it helps define you as the person that you are. So,
and then when you can partner with people like that complement you, that just helps you expand and grow. Just like I feel like, you know, if you can work and take a class or work with somebody, you're going to expand better. And same thing, if you only do homeschooling, I think you have that, like, how do you socialize? But working with people, going out there, if I can't do it, hey, I got your back. And that's really freaking awesome to just, like, the whole thing turns to a rocket ship.
You got me to come out to a class in Alaska.
Yeah,
help assist with that.
Yep. Yeah, we taught a class in Alaska. I was teaching the different classes and stuff. And we had a class that we taught in Alaska, and it was at now, which is a shop mate here because he moved here from Alaska and actually bought a house across the street. But he was someone that we had known from the Hangouts, Google Hangouts. So he was one of our virtual shopmates, Kevin, Igloo Glass, right? And he talked me into coming out there to teach a class. I asked Gage if he would like to come out there and just like be an assistant or something. And then the more that we thought about it, I'm like, why don't you just do the class with me? We'll just both teach the class. He's like, I'm down. I'm like, all right, I will just split everything. He goes, okay. And it ended up being just an awesome experience for him. We got to take a trip, go and blow glass, get paid to do it, you know what I mean? And meet like virtual shopmate in person, his family, and stay there with him for a week. He went and blew glass with another artist or two.
Another old school artist, Darby Thunderfoot.
Yeah, Darby Thunderfoot out there, another Alaskan artist who went stayed with for a couple days, blew glass with him. It just was an amazing experience again that we got to share before we were shopping. Like he went from Alabama and I came from California. We both went to Alaska to teach other glass blowers.
In Alaska, jealous.
Yes. So we came back from Alaska, went to California, blew glass, and then we went to that chalice event.
Man, that's so cool. And then
fire.
Working as a team there, you get to experience a little bit more. And again, when you're out and traveling around, you got a buddy there. Like traveling by yourself is hard. Like,
oh yeah, it is. It is. And you know what? I mean, like we were saying earlier, I mean, you kind of when you got somebody there that knows your struggles or like things that might upset you or you know, like your pet peeves or whatever, they're able to help. You know, that might be a person, just the way that they're acting. If you don't really like people all up in your face or something, you know, you're one of those people that don't like to be touched, or you know what I'm saying. You got different things, and your friends know that, to where they're like kind of able to shift that stuff away from your environment, so to speak, and in a pleasant way, where you're not like, you know, being all offensive or attacking or whatever to somebody. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Especially at those types of events. The glassware world is so small, and a lot of people don't understand that. As far as like the buyers and collectors and stuff. So even some stores can be very absent-minded to that whole presence, but it's a very small community. And I mean, it's not like you fart and everyone knows about it, but you fuck up, yeah, everyone knows about it. You rip somebody off, everyone knows about it. You make some badass shit, everyone knows about it. You know what I mean? Like it gets around real fast, especially with social media today. I mean, I tell people a lot of times, I go, man, all the glass artists in the world are like a small city, a very small city, you know, and we're just scattered.
Right,
you know,
right.
We all communicate very well.
Yeah, I remember back in the day, you know, it was hard to find somebody that was even blowing glass 10, 15 years ago. And then if you did, they didn't want to share. And luckily, all of that has been broken down, thrown away. And people are saying, hey, come work with me. Let's work as a team. And I don't know, it's really neat to see it all change. And then for people like you guys, individuals, to find each other and build something that way, it's really spectacular, I think. So like, I know you guys have your own different techniques and everything. How do you find the inspiration differently, but yet to come together into one piece? Because I know you do a lot of pieces together.
As far as like find our outside inspiration?
I guess like maybe how do you find the inspiration to work together in a sense? I guess comfortably, because I know maybe that's a hard question. I'm trying to figure it out.
You mean as far as like how do we come about like coming up with new creations and things like that?
Yeah, like how does you know, Gage come up with something and then all of a sudden you're like, I don't want to do that shit. And then how do you come together to melt that together? Or is it always kind of like we work on this?
The dry erase board is our biggest friend.
Okay.
We can start off with one design and be like, oh, well, what if we try it this way? And, we'll erase that section, draw that on, and be like, oh, all right, well, that might work. Well, let's try that. And we don't really, I don't think we've ever had like I don't want to do that. Like, it's always been like, oh, we'll try it this way, see how that works. And if it goes well, then we can keep doing that. But if it doesn't go well, then we just know we shouldn't do that.
100%. Yeah, we adjust on the fly with a lot of things. I mean, sometimes you might do some things to where when you're doing it, we've had rigs, for instance. I'll give you a for instance. While we were making it, look at the rig and go, man, this would be pretty cool if it sat like this instead of like typical. So, for instance, was our kickback. Our kickback rig, and we don't have one here to show you or nothing. I'm about to send you a picture of that. But our kickback rig is basically like if you just imagine just your normal like Ellenmeyer flask like style tube flipped upside down, right? To where now it looks like a
all right
cup for like ice cream or something. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
It would look like something you'd put ice cream or something if it had a foot. So instead, is what we did is we took and laid it down, added a neck out of that bottom that's now the top, added a marble to the bottom and 2 feet to where it laid down with the joint down inside to where it's now a kickback. You can't knock it over; it already lays down, and the thing just shreds. You know what I mean? But it was all from just looking at something as we were working. And going, hey, what do you think of? Oh, I don't know. Let's try it.
And you already had it planned out. You were doing it, and it was just Flip Town right there.
Yeah, that's pretty much exactly what it was. And it wasn't nothing's ever planned out. You know, that's what's amazing about being organic. You know what I mean? There's no teleprompter. There ain't no fucking movie producer telling you cut, you know, or hey, no, I want more enthusiasm out of you. You know, it's just do it. It doesn't have to be green. You know, let's make it pink. You know, whatever. Somebody's gonna love it. You ain't gotta love it. And that's the biggest thing I think that we all kind of run into a lot of the time. Like Gage is really good with like having like gradients, like those 3 complementing colors that really just make something all come together in paintings and in art, like we do with glass colors and stuff. And we get so attached to the things that we like, you know, as far as colors and or design, and ultimately it doesn't matter what the fuck we like.
Because what you like or what I like, again, is just an opinion. Opinions are like buttholes. And right.
So there's got to be a fine line. I mean, you got to like what you're making. Don't get me wrong there, but as far as like certain things, it's an age long thing. You'll hear with almost any artist or glassblower for sure. It'd be the one thing that you take. You're like, man, I do not fucking like the way this came out. You know, you just do not dig it. It's the one thing on the table, you know, you don't dig. And I swear, somebody would come right up there and be like, oh my God, this fucking talks to me and buy this fucking piece off your table. And you guys would just turn and look at each other and just be like, are you fucking kidding me?
It's the first thing they go for.
But it goes to show, like, it ain't about your taste.
Right.
There's a whole world of taste out there. You know, people that eat out of your scrap bucket. And that's just the way that the world is. You can't change them. Why try?
Right. Just keep doing you. And then, yeah, I like it, man. So when you guys come together, is there a preferred like style or technique you like to do as a team that maybe you might not do individually?
That question one more time.
Yeah, is there a preferred style or technique that you guys prefer to do as a team rather than separate?
Prefer?
Sounds like you guys just love being on the torch.
Yeah, we there's not anything preferred really. We've pretty much just taken everything from our past and what we've continued to learn and just keep growing that into what we're doing now.
Hell yeah.
Take his for instance, take his techniques and apply different, I find different ways to where I can apply mine to that, and vice versa. So
it's just expanding both of you guys then.
Yeah, 100%. 100% to where, like right now, in all honesty, like a lot of our creations, Gage does a lot of the building on. And I'm doing, because everything is getting teeth and horns and opals, you know what I'm saying? So it'll have both of our work sections in the stuff. He'll be shaping stuff out. There's a few things that I'm shaping the stuff too, but he'll be shaping the stuff out, handing it off to me to where I'm attaching sculpted horns, applying teeth or sculpting or whatever on. You know what I mean? I'm doing I'm doing the ass end of everything. So I'm getting handed the blank, and then I put the icing on all these beautiful cakes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and usually like I feel like that's I'm not saying it's backward. There's no way. It's sometimes it feels like the more experienced artist sometimes is doing the build and finishing it, and the lesser experienced guy is not. And it's just so neat, like how Gages has his skill sets up there to where you guys work as like literally almost one unit. I still think it's crazy. It's one unit role model running, and you guys build, produce, finish just differently all the time. I've not seen it even in my studio.
Yeah, these are an example right here. These ones here, so the shredders here, Bob hands me some honeycombs, and I'll make a disc, hand it back to him, and he'll put the teeth on, and then I'll put the neck disc and body together, put the joint in it, and then hand it over to him again for the horn. And with this one, I'll just hand him all the sections put together, and then he shapes it into the head that he wants to do as the time capsules.
I love it. I
So
freaking
both
love
these
it.
are back and forth example there.
It's finding the balance. You know what I mean? So like what you were just saying, like um, people say usually the most experienced person does the builds. I say that the most experienced builder does the builds. You know what I mean? Not so much as far as like time that they got on a torch, whatever, but the person who's just better with that shape. We've said a lot in our interviews, like I'm real rough around the edges, and he's a lot more meticulous. You know what I mean? Which is good. Again, it's that balance.
Mm-hmm.
So with everything that we got to add, like the sculpting and like say with teeth or whatever, horns and opals and whatever like that. If we're doing that and shaping it all, keeping like, hey, where do I come in here? Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, put me in, coach. So we're just constantly trying to find a balance. And I say to him a lot, I'm like, hey man, like I need to shape something. Like I'm gonna start getting all stale and shit. But we can't control our orders. You know what I mean? We can't. When we're doing certain things like jammers and stuff like that, me and him both rock and roll on stuff. It's the way that the orders come in. We just attack them as they are, and when we feel that it's out of balance one way or the other, you'll find, like for instance, like man, the order that we just kind of put together just seemed like you did a little bit more work. And like I'm gonna knock out all these down stems, go into all these things real quick. I'm gonna pack this order up, or you know what I mean? Like we find ways to try to make that all.
That's so neat. You just naturally find and feel that, hey, he did a little bit more work than me. So I'm going to go do this non-cool work, down stems, packaging up. Because it all has to get done.
Yeah. It all has to be done.
That's
you know
really
what I mean?
fresh. Right.
But it's all just team. It's a team thing. And we don't, I guess one of the good things, and we talked about in my last interview, I've collabed with a lot of people. Hey, and I ain't knocking on none of you motherfuckers. You know, I hate you all equally, and I love you too. But you know, we don't all click, and that's just the way that it is. And it doesn't mean we didn't like each other, or we didn't kick it good, or it's not certain things. It just the work just didn't mesh. You know what I mean? However it all came together. You know what I mean? That's just the way it was. And when it does, like it meshes completely. Like we don't argue about shit.
And that's what's just so crazy. Like
nothing.
It's just so neat that I hear both interviews. I picked that up, that you guys just work seamlessly together. There's never bitching and complaining. And I don't know. I just find it's hard, especially with glass blowers. A lot of times the egos develop. It just becomes a lot of like, this is my style. And it's just not there with you two. It's just, it's a group. It's role model.
There's no need for it. I mean, we both have the same common goal. So,
and that's it. Finding the common goal and saying, "Hey, let's do this."
Yep, whatever it is. I mean, you got to push for that. That's just the way that is. All that energy that you spend being egotistical maniacs and shit. You know what I mean? All that wasted energy could be used to develop and harness so much more. But people don't really think about that. They don't stop and think about like, why am I wasting my energy on this? Why don't I just I could be putting in 3 more hours of work instead of sitting here hate texting you or whatever, you know what I mean? You got going on. Like, I try not to harbor that hatred. You know, I don't have like grudges and shit like that with people. It is what it is, you know, like time passes.
Yeah, I think people get stuck in their heads and just it has to be because it isn't nobody else thinking it. It's just all of us running these shithole things in our heads and
Yeah, just get stuck on stuff. Oh, yeah. Stuck on stupid. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah. Uh, what's the most amount of time that you two have put together on like one collab?
It was probably a full day, at least between prep. Sorcerer. Yeah, that big sorcerer. I mean, 20, 30 hours or so between the dichro tube pull prep, crustopal tube pull prep, line work, honeycombs, readies, and
we sent you a photo of this one too.
And all the sculpting work. So between getting all of those parts ready and then putting it together, it was probably, I'd say, close to 30 hours.
Yeah,
it was a good sized piece too. I mean, it was our end of the year piece last year. So we got a picture of Gage holding it. It looks like he's holding a small child. Yeah, like it's big.
And again, I'm going to assume that was just a pleasure to work with, just an adventure that you guys happened.
Yeah, just something to end off the year, and we kicked off the year with another really nice piece. But just to always end it, start it with just something that we bigger and badder than we've ever done.
Hell yeah, and that's how you got to do it. Just
crash and burn. If you got it, like no big deal. I mean, if that's the way you're going to end the year or start the year, I mean, get it out of the way. You know, get it out of the way.
Yeah. Do you guys do like 3-way or 4-way collabs very often, or you guys just like a lot of people just running out of time and it's hard to really get out there and do stuff?
We just started doing. We have another artist in the studio now, and a lot of our Puffco collabs are all 3-way collabs. Puffco and Carta attachments. We have a lathe worker here that's been putting a lot of that stuff together for us. We have new lines we're going to be working on, but we're doing a little research and design on what we're going to be offering so far.
We've been talking. We talked a little bit not too long ago about starting to put the time back together because both of us did collabs with people. Like we love doing collabs. It always sucks to do a mail order collab, and no, I'm not picking on none of you if I got some of your parts. But it's always better just be there in person, man, and feel the energy and really put it into it and find out if that clicks there. You know what I mean? That we talked about. But nevertheless, knock something out in person. It's just, you know, sharing plates of food, some stories, and putting one in the air, man. It's just you can't replace that type of energy. And we talked not too long ago about getting back on some collabs with some people. So reaching out and doing some collabs, being engaged with other artists like together, and start like, you know, like maybe every month or every other month or something like that, we can get one in with another artist. So that's on the horizon.
Hell yeah. Yeah. I look forward to that. That's cool. And working with the third guy, that's a whole nother, a little bit more mix in there. So I'm sure there's a little more flavor coming through.
And spreading the love. I mean, Gage said it earlier, you know, we're like us all kind of having like the same kind of the plan, you know, with this whole thing and spreading the love. I mean, how much easier, it doesn't make any better sense than the more people that are involved in something. That's that many more people that are putting it out there on every social platform that they got, really just broadcasting. And you're going to have different people as far as different levels, as far as their career. They're going to have different levels as far as their social media followings. You might have people that are some of the baddest artists on the planet. They might only have 2,000 followers. You know what I mean? That follower thing doesn't mean shit, really. But if you're a store, for some reason, it means something. You know, a lot of stores won't even deal with you unless you got a certain kind of following. And I get it on the business side, but you know, I think more ultimately, when you do that with other artists, you reach out to a whole different platform and demographic of people that artist has been encompassing. Mm-hmm. And now you're introducing all of his people to to Gage and myself and our art and us to them. And it just spread like fire.
It's like the World Wide Web, just growing and growing and networking. They say, you know, it's not what you know, but who you know, shit like that, which I don't fully believe. But it is. It's creating the relationships, doing this stuff. It's kind of why I'm here talking to you guys. You know, one day I'm going to be out there working with you guys, but it's about getting out there, and I don't know how else to do it. But you're right. You know, you can meet these blowers that have been doing it for 40 years, and you look at them, 1,000 followers. The guy doesn't suck. The guy has been crushing it out, and it's what is Instagram when you're 50 years old? Like, so. So
yeah, most of those guys, they don't give a shit about social media.
No, they're
crap.
Care
about your Insta books, your Facegrams. You know, I mean, they got their system.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then there's some guys that hear about this whole thing and they're like, "Show me, show me."
Yeah, that was a big thing for me. Is I was horrible with my social media skills, especially in the beginning. I didn't really have much of a following, but I got to see how Bob worked with all his posting and interaction with people just by engaging on the posts, and got to learn a lot about that. It's definitely helped the reach a lot more.
Hell yeah. And that, again, that's working as a group, you know, growing off each other. So as not just two individuals there, but role model is like a little rocket ship taking off now. It's badass.
In a team, you're only going to be as strong as your weakest link.
Absolutely.
It's just the way it is in life. So if you're not constantly helping each other out, picking each other up, and letting them climb over those plateaus rather than standing back and pointing at them, going, man, he's going to be stuck on spoons for days. That ain't helping you none.
And that's
a big, huge spoon order, and he can't help you.
And that's shitty to see that and say he's going to be doing it, stuck on it for days, when you got the ability to help him. Like, get the fuck over there and help.
Yeah, if they can't accept help, it's kind of like the whole thing. Like, you can lead a horse to water, you can't make him drink. And you got those kind of people in shop. So, you know, don't get me wrong. And now all of you know who you are. And right now you're punching yourself because I'm calling you out on it. But all the time that somebody's like, hey, dude, I'd like to do this. It's like, oh, I don't want to do that. I want to do this. Well, right now you're like, well, go with your listen. Because that'd be another thing in your arsenal bag, whether you're doing it or not, that you'd have to lean on. Man, it just make you that much more valuable. Whenever you're going to apply for work, and always think about it this way. This is a perfect example and analogy. Whenever you go to apply for a job, the more you know, the more you're worth.
Absolutely. It's, you know, people be like, oh, I don't get this or I don't get that. It's your marketable skill set that you have. If you have a skill set, you know, but it's not marketable, nobody needs your skill set. Like, I don't know, fucking paint lines on the road or something. Maybe you don't need that a whole lot. It's going to be hard to find a freaking job. But if you can clean toilets and you can cut trees and you can do some electrical work, plumbing work, you're pretty valuable. Like, you can do a lot of shit. So you're right. The more tools you put in your tool belt, the more you can work with other blowers, the more you can help other people, the more you become useful. So I like it. Yeah, I was going to say, how do you work through times when you guys disagree? But it just seems like you guys really have that strong connection where it's not a ton of like, I don't want to disagree. It's just, it sounds like if you're going to work with somebody deeply, you need to find your soulmate. You need to find just the jive. No.
And why I say no is because if you set the bar that fucking high, you might never work with anybody. You know what I'm saying? So don't be confused and swing for the fence just because we're knocking it out of the park. And so I say no. Like, that's great to always have that up there, but aim a little low at first, man. Collab with whoever you can and give it everything you've got. Try to make everything work. Try to fill voids a little more than you have to. These are the things that we did as we grew up and going through it. And you will find different collabs with different artists. When I'm saying it doesn't mesh, I don't mean your collabs don't work. I'm just saying it's not like, man, I can't wait to fucking get back here and collab again kind of atmosphere. And if you start getting like good good ones under the belt, you'll find some of them that are just like that, to where, man, every time you work together, everything just seems to work out so much easier. We do disagree on certain things, but it's not like argumentative disagreeing. It's just, I think this because of this and this. It's like disagreeing followed up with a reason rather than just like, nah, we ain't going to do that. You know what I mean? And
Right. So we'll
like,
try it this way a little bit. I
no
don't think it's going to work. We'll try it your way. And if it doesn't work, let's next time try it my way.
Yeah, exactly like Gage was saying earlier. And that's pretty much kind of how we do just about everything. If we know that colors aren't going to work together because they're not real compatible, or if it's just certain colors that are a lot more risky than other colors, like that's what we say. Like we don't just, okay, let's just try it. We'll be like, I don't know, man. That alien tech's a little, what year is it? You know,
right.
then you're gonna like bring in variables. So there's just certain things that, like colors, you can't work a whole bunch. You know, if you're going to be getting in and out of the kiln on stuff or whatever. But for the most part, like whatever kind of problems or whatever we have, we're able to work out with just simple conversation.
Communication. It sounds like that's it. Communication. Being able to say, hey, man, I don't think that's going to work. To where somebody else can say, no, I think it's going to work for this and this and this.
100%.
Yeah. To not be afraid to say something dumb. Yeah. Right. That's pretty cool. What can we look forward to in the future as role model coming together?
These are future roles.
More equipment, expanding,
investing in you.
Yeah, it's just a constant expansion. We're always adding to our arsenal, and it's just only going to continue to grow, all in every aspect, from the amount of work we're putting out to the amount of series and different styles that we offer. Everything around, just everything's going to be growing.
It's going to be good. We're going to have new series and stuff coming out too as well. Again, I'm not letting really no cats out of the bag or anything, but we're working on some different things. As that being said, we're trying to get ourselves, we've been working really hard getting ourselves out to a lot of new locations across the United States and beyond. We'd be hashtagging worldwide a lot these days because we're finding ourselves in a lot of other countries.
That's awesome.
It's really good to, especially in the way that the world's been for the last year and a half or whatever, to be pushing through all the madness and stuff, presidential changes and everything. You know what I mean? There's a lot of shit that's just been going on in the world and not getting by. You know what I mean? Like we talked about swinging for the fence a little bit ago. When that's kind of like how we were, like just fucking put everything we got into this. Let's go for it. You know, all bets in. You know, let's do this, win or lose. Mm-hmm. And we did. And it just happened to be one of those things where it was betting on Floyd Mayweather. You know what I'm saying? Like it's gonna pay. And we just kept on going on that. So we didn't just try to get by. We tried to grow, and we did it together. The more that we did it together, the more it made sense. Because again, I mean, we shared everything together. It just reached out to that many more different demographics, that much stronger. Everything that we put out there with the same kind of energy, the same kind of love, with the same kind of intent of sale, you know, and distribute. Everything was the same as it was coming from him, or it was coming from me, or it was coming from us. It all was the same. So it's just like, it was really a no-brainer. Just went together really good. And we lucked out, like I said, in a hard time.
Yeah, I just really love how the whole energy just goes together with you guys, and it's just I don't know. I don't really know if I found quite a group like you guys. You know, there's other groups like Chameleon Glass out there or so forth, but it's not really. It just seems more like that's a business, where Role Model is a whole. It's not really a business. It's just its entity of one that is happening. It's fucking badass. Yeah.
More team. And Role Model seemed like it fit because I mean, we're trying to do something that we feel that everybody else should maybe try more. And that's
and I agree. I think it's hard because humans are, we're individuals. We want to be individuals, but we're a herding animal. And so you're fighting that. But I think you guys have found that when you work as the herd, as the team, it just is an exponential skill building, following, getting out there, marketing. It's easier and just healthier, I guess.
100%. Like, you could be a lion if that's what you want to do. Just remember, he gets taken down by the pack of hyenas, the team.
And he gets taken down next year or the next year by the next lion. It never gets. Yeah.
People are always chasing and chasing and chasing. I got to be faster than the lion. You just got to be faster than the slowest gazelle. You know what I mean?
Makes
you just
sense.
find the relative speed that you need to be traveling at and get to it, rather than just letting the world consume you. And that's what it seems like a lot of people do. They just kind of lay down and take it. Like it's my day to die.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's definitely not a winning attitude for yourself. But if you think of it from a business point of view, a store does not want to invest into a pity party chance. A store wants to invest in somebody who has a following, and they see when they go to their page, they're constantly promoting, they're sharing stuff in their stories, they're reposting like customers that are using their products, stores that are posting their products, people that are buying their products. You know what I mean? They're constantly showing all kinds of great video feed as well as photo feed. And when I say great, they like to see quality shit. People are getting greedy these days. Sorry, but you kind of are. We got to step up our photo game. We got a photo booth, and we went through a lot of trials and tribulations just kind of to get more decent pictures. We don't got kind of like great pictures, but we have decent.
Glass is hard to take pictures of, especially clear glass. Like, what the fuck?
It's hard, but the better you put yourself out there, the better you're received. And the more that, just like anything in life, doesn't matter what it is, if you're a football player, some sports figure or whatever, people want to invest in something that's gonna turn them a profit. You know what I'm saying? And all while having fun doing it, especially in the whole head shop game. These guys always want to enjoy themselves. They love going out to events, all that stuff, but they're just not wanting somebody who's gonna, like I said, you get these pity party people, and no offense to them or anything, I hope they snap out of it. But I mean, that seems like they're just getting by from here to there and don't have any kind of real personal goals. And maybe you've got a family too, you know what I mean? And just kind of really don't go for it. And these stores want to see people that just got that drive and have hustle and got good motivation and promote themselves. They invest in themselves. When you go out to events and you don't have no stickers, no business cards, no swag of any kind, versus the guy next to you who's giving away shit. You know what I mean? Like to everybody that comes by their booth, putting their stuff in a bag with his logo on it. I mean, they see that, they're just like, I'm going to go with Guy B.
Guy B is easy to market because Guy B is marketing himself. All I got to do is put the shit in the store and he's going to drive. And so that's the thing too. It's not just art. The whole world, it's a crazy bitch. So you got to know how to do business. You got to know the art. If you don't know how to market and get it out there, good luck selling it. If you don't go out to sell it to a shop and you just build it and hold it, before you know it, you got a garage full of pipes. And you got to get to your first store. You got to get to your first customer. You got to say thank you. And that's just a good point I think you put out is you got to believe in yourself. You got to market yourself. And you just got to do the best that you possibly can and just keep pushing hard.
Yeah. Be humble. A lot of people are just not humble anymore. They got a lot of ego or they're just very aggressive. Like, I don't know. They got to be, they got to be the person in the room.
It could be what we are. I mean, we as humans are top apex predator. So, we are very aggressive. So, to be humble is almost something you have to get, you got to get the shit kicked out of you a couple times to be humble, I think. So if you ain't had your ass whooped, how can you ever feel for somebody who who has had their ass whooped. You can maybe say it, but it fucking hurts, man. So
Yeah, you can't appreciate winning and being lost.
right. So that's the thing about life. Keep competing, keep challenges. If this challenge isn't for you, find something you like, find something you have passion with, and go fight those challenges. Because deep inside we're competitors, we're predators, we're
Always will be. But there's ways to apply that that aggression. You know what I mean?
in a friendly way. You don't have to go out and kill somebody because you're a predator. You can go kill your art form and show that as a predator, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, you bring it to the table. You know, you come to a smoke shop and there's two other glass blowers in there that are selling glass. Like you don't go down there and take down the other glass blowers. You just go in there and open your case. Because that's what speaks your volumes right there.
Yep.
You know, that's what you do. You know, they might want everybody else's stuff. Everyone's got to eat, you know. But I think too many people are combative. Kind of like, again, I mean, goes back to the role model thing with us being teamed up. I mean, we, not that we had a problem working solo like we were, putting out collabs here and there, but when you get into a world that's kind of basically an epidemic time, and now you are in the same shop and you're going to push that much harder to sell stuff, and you're kind of competing, so to speak, when you're going to the same shops in the same car, you know what I mean? You might go in there and I don't sell nothing and he sells half his glass, you know what I'm saying, or vice versa. You just don't ever know. So it just made that much more sense to be a team. And every time we walk out of the store, we both put money in our pocket for that glass. I mean, it's a no fucking brainer. The more of you that there is, the more you can create, the more you can sell, the more everyone eats.
Yep. It's power in the numbers, you know. It's always been that power in the people. Like even in this country, we do as the people have the power. We just keep giving it away to these cockamanies. It feels like, but going in as a team, going in as a group, you're right. You win.
Was it 101 North? Is that what it was that Ryan Turfs used to run?
Yeah.
101 North. Do you remember 101 North way back in the day before Pipe Dreams?
No,
Ryan Turfs, which is now like he does like Millie, a lot of Millie work and stuff like that nature, right? He does like all the guitar picks. You've probably seen him on the badass honeycomb guitar picks, some gangster work he does. But back when all that stuff happened with the pipe Operation Pipe Dreams or Pipe Works, whatever that was, he ran a big operation with several employees that had like health benefits and everything. This is prior to all this internet stuff that we have now. You know, we're talking about, I mean, a lot of years ago. And he was running an operation like that. And Saeed was another one that was in there. Jason was also involved in it as far as JBD. And like Saeed and Ryan Turfs, I believe, with their court judgment, that they were not allowed to do anything like cannabis related any longer. That is how they pretty much kicked them out of the game. So they came back in their own way. Ryan Turfs came in doing Millie, and Saeed opened up Golden Gate Glassworks and came in with all the line tubing. And they stayed in the game.
And so, see, that's so neat. Like, you know, there's a real neat song. I'm a Pussifer fan, and it's around, over, under, or through. Life is full of obstacles. And so you just, you know, you get busted doing this shit. You could have said, poor me, I'm going to go, you know, go cook or something. But you're like, I'm addicted to glass. I'm making it happen. And you create this whole new world of Golden Gate Glass, like where you can actually buy, you couldn't buy glass tubing before.
Nobody was selling their line work.
What's that?
Nobody was selling their line work unless they're hard up cash.
No, it was too hard to make.
Yeah, no money in it.
Crazy. So the best place for us to follow you guys would be Role Model Glass, probably. Then, is there anything else you want to add to this? Did we miss anything?
No. Instagram's Role Model Glass, and then our personals.
modified creations glass, and of course doghouse glass. Yeah, just for people to follow us, definitely feel free to come and hit us up if you guys got questions about some of the stuff we were talking about. I mean, we talked a lot about being a team and business and marketing strategies and stuff.
Well, that was freaking awesome. It's just so neat watching the energy of these two like together. You know, it's just it was cool. I loved it. Really quickly, I want to throw out there, we need your help looking for Elev8 ambassadors, Elev8 dolls, and Elev8 gents. It's a really cool program. Main thing, you're helping us build Elev8, getting the word out there. You get credits to really cool Elev8 gear, and you get to put smiles on faces. Also, we got Elev8 Veterans. It's really awesome. It's a 501c3 where you get to help some veterans. We have really cool packages where it's a win-win-win. You get to help Elev8 Glass Gallery out. You get to help the surfers out, and more importantly, you get to help some veterans. Anyways, keep it real and keep it fun. Elev8, mind, body, spirit.